Live in Bethesda, Maryland, the worldwide
Dude, you are so
headquarters,
loud.
the worldwide headquarters for
There it is.
YAA. It's Saturday night with Zach and Ray.
That's it.
What the hell else am I going to say?
All right, let's kick things off with the biggest story of them all. I'm going to come here to automotive news. Actually, you know what? We're going to go straight to the gavel where it was hammered down itself. Is that the right way?
Oh my God. Apparently, if I get out of line tonight, I'm getting struck on the head.
FTC takes action against multi-state auto dealer Napleton for sneaking illegal junk fees onto bills and discriminating against Black consumers. Napleton Auto will pay a record-setting $10 million in the case brought jointly with the state of Illinois. We are also going to talk about the chip shortage and the fact that Ford and GM shut down multiple of their production plants. We'll talk about that in just a second, as well as the fact that every automaker is putting up terrible quarterly results. But Dad, $10 million.
$10 million, and you admit no guilt whatsoever. Only in America. Okay, can you agree to pay a $10 million fine just out of the goodness of your heart?
Now, look at this. This is the latest project over at on the YAA website, joinyaa.com. We're going to do a live test. Resources, we now have the dealer reviews. 672 of them from the community.
Yes.
I'm just going to search. Napleton.
Yeah.
We've got 3 Napleton reviews.
Yeah.
One in Florida.
Yeah.
Let's see. One in Missouri.
Yeah, well, they're all over, you know.
And one where we don't have.
They're like horse poop. They're everywhere.
Okay, so we're looking at row 428. 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
Would recommend this to a friend.
Yeah.
No pressure salesman who told us the price in the MSRP and there was no markup. They offered extended warranties and other items, but never forced us to purchase them.
Okay, so which Napleton store was that?
That is Napleton Mazda. Period.
Somewhere. Okay.
Now we've got Napleton Hyundai in Missouri.
Yes.
So that's this row. They told them that they were required to buy paint protection, load jack, seat protection, over $2,000 in junk accessories. They left them a 0.
Okay, so if we're averaging so far, they're a 5.
The dealership was unprofessional. They made me and my elderly mother-in-law wait over a half an hour to test drive a vehicle because we had to have a salesperson ride with us. I would have left based on that alone, but we were looking for a car for my mother-in-law and it was in her budget. However, once they told me that she had to buy all the junk accessories, we declined and left. All right, so let's say one more.
Okay.
That was Napleton Mazda. Napleton Hyundai in Florida.
Yeah.
Let's see. 9 out of 10.
Yeah.
I'd recommend it.
Okay.
So there you go. That's some proof in the pudding there, at least the one that was from Missouri.
Yeah.
The FTC said, hey, you can't do that.
And they admitted no guilt, but they said, hey, we'll fork over $10 million. I mean, what's $10 million amongst friends?
I do like how here you go, the complaint against North American Automotive Services, Napleton,
also known as Ed Napleton Automotive Group,
alleges that 8 of its dealerships, and they own 52 if I'm not mistaken.
I don't know.
Because I looked it up earlier, PVR Auto News, hang tight. I looked at this earlier.
Yeah.
If you remember, this came from July of last year.
Yeah.
$100 million club. 19 dealership groups reported F&I revenue above $100 million in 2022. Napleton. Yeah, they've got 52 dealerships.
And they were able to do that by adding on fees and charging people of color higher interest rates and additional fees.
So we're talking about a $10 million fine for a business that in 1 year moves $124 million worth of revenue through that function.
Yes.
Okay, that's a cost of doing business.
Yeah, it's a cost of doing business.
Add it to the line item.
Yeah,
I'll put that on my P&L.
Yeah.
What account does that go in on my chart of accounts?
That probably goes on under the false advertising account. Yeah.
2 Illinois dealerships illegally tacked on junk fees for unwanted add-on products such as payment insurance and paint protection.
Yeah.
Let that sink in. That's not a fee.
Yeah.
When we talk about fees,
that's a product.
They were.
That's not a fee.
Okay, let's do another example. Let's go to the community forum.
Yeah.
Let's go to review my deal.
Yeah.
Every single one of these 850 deals has people being upsold products on the front end.
Yes.
And being told you have to buy them. Why is this the first big news story we're hearing about this, Dad? This is happening everywhere. You know it. 83% of the buyers from the dealership were charged these fees and add-ons.
Just 83%?
without authorization or as a result of deception. Yeah, this is happening to everyone. We know it's happening to everyone. Why is that? Why?
But they didn't admit any guilt. They're not
I don't
guilty.
care. I don't care. Why is the FTC? Someone on this, there's 309 people here right now. Our streams typically get, I don't know, 10 to 30,000 views.
Yes.
What do we got to do? Do you and I got to start calling that freaking FTC? What do we got to do, man? And I'm still freaking beating my head up against a brick wall on the state of California so that we can sell extended warranties there. And they just hit me back with an email last night.
Yeah.
Because you can only get phone support if you're an individual trying to get an insurance producer license in California. Businesses, it's only email.
Yeah.
And you have to fill out this next form. It's so much
BS.
in these systems, man. And they're so legacy. They just want to protect the existing assets, and they need to change. This is bullshit.
So what are you saying? That if there's supposed to be a consumer advocate type of organization for consumers
We got
in
to
their
do more.
states,
We got to do more.
that they should actually, like, I don't know, enforce the rules, laws, and regulations so that people can stop getting ripped off every day of every week on every automotive purchase that happens?
Because we see it. We are probably the only organization that sees as many car deals. I looked at the stats from last month.
Yeah.
Over 600 members live chatted with us to get their car deals reviewed. So that's not even on the form. That's 600 car deals that we got to look at. And there's small victories, right? 2 dealerships accused of falsely advertising low prices to customers. Now they have to pay $500,000 in restitution.
And when we were in the car earlier today, you said, well, there's these 2 Nissan dealerships in the Phoenix area. And I said, well, let me guess, they were probably part of the Van Tile organization before they were purchased by Berkshire Hathaway. And if you're saying it's 2 Nissan dealerships, let me guess. And I guessed Pinnacle Nissan in North Scottsdale and ABC Nissan in Phoenix itself. And as it turned out, it was, lo and behold, ABC Nissan and Pinnacle Nissan. And I can only tell you from my experience when I managed an Acura store in Scottsdale, Arizona.
Share the stories.
And we competed with the Van Tile organization at that time. And we had hired away some people that had worked for Van Tile.
Yeah.
So according to some of those people that worked for Van Tile, if you were a finance manager and you signed somebody up when they bought a car, your job was to, before they left, was to set an appointment for them to come back 48 hours later.
So if you're a finance manager at the Van Tile organization back in the day, now Berkshire, you sell a car, and your job is to get them to come back 2 days later.
You have to set up an appointment for them to come back 2 days later.
Why?
Ostensibly, just in case there were any errors or omissions or missing signatures on any documents. Okay. Because we go through this stuff in a hurry, and so why don't we just set up an appointment for you to come back? Why don't we say Monday night? Okay, at around 7, and you set up the appointment. And your job as the finance manager during that appointment is to bump the customer on their payment, to take another shot at selling them more product, or saying, well, the loan as we had hoped to put it through wasn't approved that way. In order to get the loan approved, we need you to either put more money down, or we need to increase your interest rate. We weren't able to get you the interest rate that we thought we could. Perhaps we can keep you at that same interest rate if you were to buy, say, an extended warranty. And that's what they were instructed to do. That was part of their job. Now, I didn't work at a Van Tile store, so I never personally witnessed it, but I heard it any number of times that was the way they operated.
I mean, what was the story that we ran yesterday on the Ranzak show, and then also on the YA channel? Rob with that text message.
Yes.
Okay, and if you're unfamiliar,
hit them high.
Yeah, let me find it really quick.
Yeah.
I mean, it was just like,
but this is the way that certain dealership groups were set up, and the worst part is that the Van Tile organization was often awarded awards from the various manufacturers because they're such good dealerships. They
was-
weren't.
Here was the text message. So this came from a gentleman named Corey. He ended up reaching out to me directly on Twitter. So this is Corey's salesperson, Rob, over here,
Yes.
who said, as far as your lease buyout option, you're looking to pay approximately X. On the 2022 HRV EXL, you're looking at this price. And then he meant to text this to someone else, like his sales manager.
Yes.
I hit him high so I can cut him down, make him feel like I'm giving him the best deal, but it's really those NYC taxes beating his ass. Laugh my ass off. Like, so this is what happens on the other side.
Yes.
We shouldn't act and be naive about it. Most people are uneducated to that. And then they end up going into that situation and they totally get taken advantage of. And this is where I'm getting pissed off. This is where I'm legitimately, I know before we hopped on the show, I was kind of like, I'm tired, it's, I ran.
Yeah.
No, this stuff is messed up, man. We need to figure out a way. I don't know who we need to contact so that we have we need to be the source. We need to be the resource that sources these issues and complaints.
And then we forward them to the
appropriate person,
yeah.
whether it be the state's attorneys generals in each state. Like maybe that's the next project,
or
we need
Consumer Protection Bureau in a state.
Something, man. Because you want to know what's funny?
It goes.
You want to know what's funny?
Yeah, what's funny?
I'll show you what's funny.
Okay,
give me 1 second to pull it up. But I mean, this is legitimately like when you think about this conversation that we're having, and then you expect for like the government or existing players to figure things out.
Yeah.
Go to the BBB.
Yes.
For Ed Napleton Automotive Group.
Wow.
They have an A+ rating. Sure, they've got 1.22 stars from consumers. They got an A+ rating. Get out of here.
How do you get an A+ rating and pay a $10 million fine?
Get out of here.
Yeah.
Am I so naive to think that this is screwed up? They did $124 million in revenue on this crap last year, and you've got to imagine a decent chunk of that is because they forced products on people.
Well, 83% of the people. There was 17% that were lucky enough to perhaps get out of there unscathed.
That's a ton of money. That's $100 million.
Yes. Yes. But, the customer reviews are not used in the calculation for their rating. Well, why not? Why wouldn't you want to use the customer reviews? They're the ones that are getting screwed every day.
How can you trust BBB?
Yeah.
How can you trust that? How can you trust anyone? I mean, I'm saying that as we're building this business, but how the hell can you trust anyone? Like, horrible experience. Okay, and then you know what? I want to parlay this into a bit of a conversation on you can't trust these, like the EV companies either. Because you know what I was thinking about, Dad?
Please tell me.
So Tesla is the only company that did really well the last quarter. They sold 310,000 cars.
We believe.
Somehow.
Yes.
Okay.
Based on what they report.
They are somehow immune to the chip shortage, which we got to find a source who can explain that one today.
Yes.
Okay. And B, they're the only one who can actually sell cars, although, they don't sell all the cars that they promised to sell. Every other electric car maker, Dad, they just take interest-free loans. That's all they do. They don't produce cars. Rivian, what are they going to? They've just, delivered 250 cars. I think $100 billion company.
I think you're overstating the number of deliveries.
Lucid, Faraday, like the list goes on and on.
Yeah.
How the hell can you trust those companies too? And those companies, instead of being with dealers that you don't trust, those companies are going to sell you your loan. They're going to sell you your insurance. They're going to sell you your extended warranty. They're going to do the whole.
They're going to package the whole thing for you, and you're going to feel good about it because you don't have to deal with those scummy car dealers. You get to deal with the scummy car manufacturers.
Oh my God!
Because if you think Elon is doing this out of the goodness of your heart, no,
dude, the auto industry is rough.
Yeah, he's just trying to increase his net worth. It's not up there. He's not up there with Jeff Bezos yet.
Chris Whitener, thank you for the thoughtful contribution.
Thank you.
Thoughts on the huge Corolla GR release this week? Will there be markups on this, you think, in October? By the way, hello from the runway at the Atlanta airport. Safe flight, Chris.
Yeah, he's on his way to Vegas, baby.
This is a huge release. This is Toyota's big foray into kind of like the hatchback space. I mean, it's
getting back into it.
Getting back into it, yeah.
In the hot hatch, the Johnny Go Fast little hatchbacks.
Will there be markups on this? Absolutely.
Okay. 100%. Yes, I guarantee it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here we go. We've got the 08450. Are you guys ever contacted or threatened by dealers that don't want you guys ruining their plans? Yes. I'm thinking back fondly. I'm not going to name names, but we did a video one time about a gentleman or a woman who had a terrible experience, and we made a video about it. And then that dealership contacted us and said, "That's false. Take it down." And then I talked to my lawyer about it, our lawyer about it. And could we have kept it up? Yes. Could we have gotten sued? Yes. So we made the decision, take it down, not get sued. We can't afford to get sued right now. Wonder if there's a way though that we can like build a YAA trust fund that we like don't touch, explicitly don't trust, but that we could like save it up for situations like that.
Perhaps.
Okay, Rob here.
Thank you,
as
Rob.
Bought a 2022 Chevy Trailblazer for $25,000 a few months ago at MSRP. Just sold it to Carvana today for $30,000.
Yeah. Arbitrage, baby. Yeah.
All right. We had from Miss G here.
Yes.
My son agreed to an extended warranty when he purchased his car a month ago.
Yeah.
Can he cancel that product at this point, or is it too late? Will you share the good news?
He can indeed cancel that product if he financed that product into his car loan. His payment will remain the same, but the payoff balance will go down by the canceled amount of the credit that you get for the extended warranty. So ultimately, he might make a few payments less because the payoff will be lower and it'll get paid off quicker.
But you will get that prorated.
Yeah, it's not like you get the money. The
Yep.
money goes to the bank because they're the ones that paid for it.
Exactly.
Yes.
But yes, you can absolutely cancel those products,
Yes.
and you absolutely should. Okay, I want to
Yes.
jump over here, Dad, to what happened in the last quarter. Sales numbers dropped across the board. It seems like we are on pace for one of the worst years in terms of sales. This is a function, obviously,
Of new cars.
of new cars. This is
Yes.
obviously a function of the supply chain issues.
Yes.
And also, you've got to think some buyers saying, hey, I'm taking myself out of the market. This stuff's crazy.
Well,
Is
hopefully-
StopBuyingCars.com,
Yeah.
can we attribute the Q1 terrible sales numbers to us producing that website?
No, but I'd like to be able to say it is. But yeah, I mean, we'll do our best on a daily or weekly basis to say to people, if you absolutely need a car, I understand, go get one. It'll
Join
probably be-
YAA, let us help you.
it'll probably be cheaper today than it will be tomorrow. If you only want a car, stay the heck out of the market. Okay, the more people that stay out of the market, the less people there will be to sell cars to, and the greater the likelihood that dealers will be forced to eventually lower some of their prices because there aren't enough people buying cars at the moment.
Exactly.
So that's what we need to see happen.
Yeah, it would be very helpful if we saw some things happen along those lines.
Yes.
But the
yes.
sales numbers, Dad, were down pretty precipitously, and we haven't,
Yes.
surprisingly, we haven't seen a lot of results yet reported for U.S. automakers. But Toyota sales are down 15%.
Yes.
Nissan sales down 30%. If I'm not mistaken, jumping down here to Hyundai, their sales were down 4% year over year, so not that bad. Kia sales were down 10.5% year over year. Stellantis sales down 14%. Chevy sales down 20%. Honda sales down 23%. Subaru sales down 34% year over year. And you can see down here as well, incentives, they don't
Yes.
exist anymore. They're going away.
Well, what makes you say that?
Subaru incentives less than $1,000 in
Yeah,
incentives
but
out there.
look at BMW.
No, the industry average is around $1,700 in
Yes.
incentives, down 50%
Yes, from a
year
year
over
ago.
year.
Yeah.
Average transaction prices
Yeah.
up considerably.
Yes.
Industry average up 16% year
Yeah.
over year.
You think that might contribute to why there's less and less vehicles being sold? Look at the average BMW transaction price. Almost $64,000. The average Mercedes,
Yeah,
$73,000.
look at the fact that Ford, yeah, that's insane.
Yeah, Ford and GM, right around $50,000 is the average transaction price. Stellantis, the average transaction price is almost $53,000. And
That's up 21%.
and let me remind you, folks, after you've done it, you still own a Stellantis product. And if you think I rag on Stellantis products, it's only because they deserve it. They don't produce particularly good vehicles. They've proven that over a long period of time, regardless of what name they manufacture under. You can change the name. You could also change the quality if you wanted to, but all they seem to want to do is change the name.
Yeah, that's true. It used to be Fiat Chrysler. Now it's
Yeah,
Stellantis.
it used to be Daimler Chrysler.
But did it really?
Yes. Yes. I don't think there's anybody they haven't merged with yet.
And they still don't build quality products.
No, they changed the name. They never changed the quality.
That's fair. That's
Yes.
fair. All right, Pops, let me hop over then to the story that ties in with this, which would be the fact that
Yes.
GM and Ford both
Yes.
have shut down some of their plants. Let me pull up this article really quick.
Yeah.
We've got Ford, GM pausing production in Michigan over part shortage. This comes on the heels of the Indiana plant for GM being
Yes.
shut down
Yes,
earlier
the
in the
Fort
week.
Wayne plant.
The Fort Wayne plant.
Yes.
Let's see. GM is stalling the Lansing Grand River assembly and stamping, citing a part shortage, nothing to do with a deficit of semiconductor chips. The
Oh,
company
yeah.
later stated that the Russo,
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah.
The war played a factor in that. Ford has said the chip shortage has everything to do with its temporary closure of the Flat Rock assembly plant. So we're seeing more and more shutdowns, and unfortunately, we have the well, this is not unfortunate, but we have the Black Book team joining us on the Ray and Zach channel in a week on Monday,
A week
April
from
11th.
Monday, yeah.
I am very keen to see what's going to happen to used car prices because there's nothing that indicates that there's going to be new car inventory.
No.
Absolutely nothing that
No.
indicates that.
And if I may, the war
Yeah.
has impacted production in Europe significantly. 150,000 vehicles were lost to production due to parts shortages in Europe. Ukraine produces quite a number of the wiring harnesses for a number of manufacturers over there.
This is from Aaron here. I got one of the last Impreza Sports for sale in the U.S. thanks to help from YA. Seriously, go search your database. There are almost none left nationwide. Yeah, and then this comment about Tesla up here. Where was it? Here we go from AG. Tesla delivered 300,000 cars in the first quarter of 2022.
Yeah.
It's insane. So, Dad, my question to you, and
Yes.
and then we have a thoughtful contribution here from Michael that we're going to turn to. How is Tesla immune to what's happening to every other automaker, or are they not?
Well, I'm going. I don't know this for a fact, but I would imagine one of the reasons they might be a tad more immune than the other manufacturers is that they don't use the older generation chips that 98% of automotive manufacturers use in their vehicles, because they produce an electric vehicle. They can use the more up-to-date chips, the chips that are more profitable for the chip makers to produce, and easier to get your hands on. And that's the problem for the legacy brands is the chips that are used in those brands are an older architecture, a lower profit margin, and if there's going to be cutbacks and you're the manufacturer, well, what chips do you want to make? You want to make them cheap ones that don't have a high profit margin, or you want to make the expensive ones that you make all your money on?
Also, when you know that which direction is the industry going.
Well, better be going to the more advanced chips.
I think it is, right?
Yeah.
Everything's going towards EV. So why would
Yes.
you, as a manufacturer, a chip manufacturer, want to produce those supplies? And then, yes, in Ukraine, wiring harnesses.
Yes, and then the other thing in the Ukraine is neon gas, which is needed for the lasers so they can imprint onto the wafers, so that in the future there could be shortages for Tesla and others because you won't be able to get your hands on the newer technology chips.
You got a question for Skylar? Skylar, great to see you here. Correct. Tesla uses the newer chips, runs everything, on a single circuit board rather than dozens or so in the vehicle. Skylar, Skylar works at a Ford dealership, or at least last time Skylar and I chatted, he did. What's going on at the dealership? You guys got inventory, just taking deposits left and right? You're very curious if you can share kind of boots on the ground, what you're seeing there. Let's see here. Hermit Krabbit wants to know, is it true that there are 3 new chip factories being built in Arizona, Texas, and Ohio?
Well, there's one being built in Texas. There's one being built in Arizona. And I believe there's another one that's scheduled to be built in North Carolina.
I saw
from
that.
Hyundai.
Yeah.
I believe it was, or Samsung. I think it was Samsung. So, yes, there's a number of facilities that are either being built as we speak or being planned to be built. Now, here's what you have to realize. Just because somebody says they're going to build a chip manufacturing facility, It takes about 3 years from the time you say you're going to do it to the time it starts actually producing chips. So I believe the Intel chip plant in Arizona, they were talking about that a year and a half or 2 years ago. So they're a lot closer to
But
production.
still a ways away.
Okay, and a lot of these others are just, in the planning stages. So it's going to take 2.5 to 3 years.
There you go from Skylar. I
Yeah.
still work for Ford. Yep. Have a handful of new vehicles available, hard to get Expeditions, Mustangs, etc. Most of our requests for orders are things we have the most trouble getting anyway, like Broncos or the Mach-E.
Of
You know,
course.
here we go. Thank you for this, Skylar.
Yeah.
And have to remind interested buyers that Maverick ordering is closed for 2022 and not open for 2023 yet.
Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty. Thanks for sharing that with us, Skylar. I
Thank you,
imagine
Skylar.
Ford's sitting on a war chest of tens of millions of dollars in pre-orders.
Yeah, but
And the dealers are too.
But
and
let
deposits.
me ask you a question.
Hmm.
Okay, in order to take a place of reservation, it might take a whole $100.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, how many of those people are going to wait 2 years, 3 years from the time they place their reservation to the time that they might actually get there? How many of those people are going to drop dead between now and then?
But Pops,
Yes.
I know I surprise you with things on the show, and I got something to surprise you with tonight. We have the car coming soon. Just Venmo me.
Yeah.
$100.
Yeah.
Or I'll accept Cash App too.
Yeah.
And sometime in the next
5 to 10 years.
10 years,
Yeah.
you might get a car.
You might.
My Venmo is. No.
Yeah.
But
in the meantime, we'll just work with you.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what it is. All right. I do want to take a second. And then we're going to come back. Actually, you know what? Let's be fair.
Okay.
Michael, you did
Yes.
give us a
Yes,
nice
thank
contribution.
you.
We appreciate that. My 2016 Chevy Cruze has, is that 2 million or 200,000?
200,000.
miles in it. Should I keep repairs going or try and buy a hybrid due to high gas prices? Thanks. If you are in this situation, Des,
Yes.
what are you thinking of? Like, what are the questions you're asking yourself to help come up with the answer?
Well, you have to say to yourself, what's the car legitimately worth if I needed to get rid of it?
Yep.
Okay. And if the conclusion you come to that a 200,000 mile Cruze might be worth, I don't know, $2,500 to $3,000. And if you take it to a mechanic and the mechanic says, well, you're going to need about $2,500 to $3,000 of work to keep it in good shape, why would you invest $2,500 to $3,000 so that you can still have a $2,500 to $3,000 car? So if that might be one of the cases where I go to myself, I don't want to buy a car in this market, but I think legitimately I need to, because the cost of repairing and maintaining and keeping the vehicle safe on the road far outweighs what its value is.
I would say you're actually in a slightly advantageous situation if you have a car that you're currently able to continue driving, in the sense that if you can order something,
Yes.
you have no clue when it's coming in. We have heard order wait times
Yeah.
now stretching up to a year.
Yes.
Up to a year, which is confusing because what model year is that going to be? But that's a whole different story.
Yes.
We need to actually do some digging into that to understand.
Well, that model year will be 2023. It's just that simple.
No, I just mean into like the
Yeah.
overall wait times. But my point being, if you needed to buy something, like you just, unfortunately your car got totaled,
Yeah.
you're going to be paying above MSRP most likely. A
Yeah.
resource that you have to try and make sure that you don't, obviously, are the new car dealer reviews that we have. So you
Yes.
could search and see who isn't making you making you pay MSRP. So did they sell you the car? I don't know. Let's filter really quick, add a condition, MSRP, and let's say no, they actually sold to me below MSRP. So there are people still getting deals
Yes.
below MSRP, and okay, there's not that many. There's 4, there's 50.
Yeah.
So that's one option. But if you're factory ordering, we're hearing all sorts of stories of people getting 9, 10% below MSRP on factory orders. You just don't know
Depends
when
on
it's
the
coming in.
brand.
So if that Chevy Cruze
Yeah.
will keep running for another 6 months, put some money into it to keep it running, and don't overpay for something. Don't get Napleton.
Ooh, I like that. Is that a verb now?
It's synonymous with screwed.
Yeah. So that's a verb. Don't get Napleton.
Don't get Napleton.
Wow.
I like that, actually.
Yeah.
Don't get Napleton. Do
Yeah.
an order and you'll be okay.
If I'm not in the car business, in the retail automotive business anymore.
Yeah.
But if I were, and I was in a market that had a Napleton store, I would advertise First, I would include the FTC settlement in every ad I did. And then I would post that we are the anti-Napleton of dealers. Okay.
Yeah, honestly, the silver lining on that FTC settlement,
Yeah.
the 10 million is going back to customers. They're paying back customers for having bought these things, which again, I mean, it's traumatic to have had that experience, to be
Yes.
pressured into buying something, to be confused like that. But at least the money's going back to them.
Yeah.
But you are so right. If you're in that local market area
Yeah.
and you're another Hyundai dealer,
Yeah. We're the anti-Napleton.
Napleton
Yeah.
just got hit with a $10 million fine.
Yeah.
We'll sell you a car at MSRP.
Yes.
Man, Napleton hurts. Now that's a good one.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a good one. Wow. 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 Okay.
Yes.
This is a big point.
Yeah.
We have a special guest joining us next Saturday night, and we're not going to do any marketing about it whatsoever, who it is, but I'm going to mention it right now one time. So be sure to tune in next week on Saturday night. The Car Care Nut himself will be joining us on our live stream.
Okay.
We're not. It's going to be a surprise though for everyone else. There's like 900 people you now know.
Yeah.
So be sure to join us next week. Skylar says, while I wouldn't want to have to buy a car in this market, there's a side issue we're experiencing at my store. People have older cars they want to fix, but parts are obsolete. We can't service them. This is becoming more and more of a theme. And Pops, I've got a question for you. We talked about it a bit earlier.
Yeah, we did.
We were driving to my sister had a swim meet today.
Yes.
Congratulations, Dara.
Yes.
You did great.
Nicely done, Dara.
And we were driving over together.
Yes.
And I asked you, I was like, how are we not going to be Cuba? And I mean that legitimately, which is scary as hell to think.
And my answer to that was, well, Cuba doesn't have an automobile manufacturing capability in their country, and where we do have automobile manufacturers in this country. But that comment from Skylar indicates that if I had a repair business of some kind, I would go to the State Department and say, how can I import a few Cubans, a few Cuban techs who know how to manufacture, create from whole cloth, whatever parts they can get their hands on, and make them work in older vehicles, because those are the type of people in these types of situations that you're going to need. People that can think creatively about how to.
All right. Question for you.
Yes.
You remember when I was getting into getting my pilot's license?
Yeah.
And remember, I spent time. I was like, I want to buy a plane.
Yes.
And I was looking. I was like, Dad, I found a plane. It's like $50,000. It's like the cheapest one I could find. Remember what you said to me?
Well, I think the first words out of my mouth is, I don't think a plane is the type of thing you chintz on.
Okay, here's the deal. I don't think auto repairs are the things you want to creative think are working on.
Why? These guys are good. Man. They're keeping 50, 60-year-old GM products running in Cuba, for God's sake. They are going and getting old parts and reworking them to make them work and to keep those vehicles running. So you need some creative people that can look at that and they can fabricate their own stuff.
Bronco reservation holder here since July of 2020.
How you feel about that? I mean, seriously, how do you feel about that? You're going on 2 years. Have you ever thought about asking for your deposit money back? Because let's face it, if you haven't gotten the damn thing in 2 years, and Ford only produces 60% of the Broncos for reservation holders and the other 40% are for dealer inventory, you're getting, I don't know how to tell you, but you're getting Napleton. You're getting screwed by Ford.
Okay, so we've got in the chat here a couple things I need to pull up. Where was it? Someone said, oh yeah, here it is. AG says Napleton might file a complaint. And you know what? I don't feel bad about this one. If they come to us and they say something, I'm going to say next time don't be in the news for screwing over your customers. And we won't say people got Napleton.
Yeah.
I think it's kind of catchy.
Yeah.
Go to Napleton when you want to get
Napleton. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's pretty good. We'll work on it. We'll workshop it. Chris here in the chat. 1 second, Chris. We got to jump up here to David. David, thank you for the contribution.
Thank you, David.
Thank you, your Advocate Alliance. I used all your tips and I bought a new Jeep Cherokee WK Laredo X for $1,000 under MSRP. It took me 2 months to find the deal, but closed it on March 31st. Is that the first one of the night, Pops?
Yes, absolutely.
Bam.
Damn shakalaka, as I like to say.
Nice job, David. And that's proof. And if you can, David, please leave. Again, the car dealer reviews, we launched them not even a week ago. We legitimately launched these on Monday of last week or Tuesday of last week?
Tuesday or Wednesday.
Tuesday or Wednesday of last week.
Yeah.
Okay. 672 reviews so far. I'm going to guess we're up to 674.
Okay.
What do you think?
12. I think we're down to 12.
677.
Look at that.
There are 2 pages. Okay. You
Yes.
can click on the number counter up here to flip between the 2 of them. One where you leave your review.
Yeah.
The big things that we're trying to figure out are dealers sticking you with you have to purchase accessories and protection packages. That's a big thing we want to learn. Or on used cars, are they allowing you to get pre-purchase inspections, and are they adding reconditioning fees and things like that? Then you can click right here.
Yes.
This will take you to the actual reviews. And when you're on the actual reviews, just use these filters. Okay. If you want to add a condition, you want to look for something. So if you want to look at just, Audi dealers, for
Yes.
example, we only have 10 reviews of Audi dealers. But if you want to look at Hyundai dealers, there's 60 of them.
Yes.
And then you can add another condition, like, I don't know, the state. So let's say maybe we're going to look at Oregon. We got none in Oregon. Why not Texas? There you go. So here you are. Here are 3 Hyundai dealers in Texas, 2 that charged below MSRP but required
No, above MSRP.
above MSRP. Thank you. One that charged just at MSRP. You can see what this one was charging for: apex protection for tint, wheel locks, etc. So the one to go to here is going to be this middle one, and that's going to be Huffins Plano. You're going to want to avoid Northwest Hyundai and Jameswood. Okay, so we need you. This is not us. This is the whole community coming together. We need you to put that in there, especially if you have a positive experience.
Positive
Chris.
or negative? We want to know.
Especially if you have a positive. I mean, the intention here, to be clear,
is to find the positive dealers and highlight.
We talk about this all the time. My
Yeah.
mom, my dad's wife, she was a special ed teacher, and she had a thing that she did every week. She called one student's parents home, not because they did something bad,
to tell the parents about
that
something
they
positive
that the kid
child
did. And the parents were always like, "What the hell did they do? I'm so nervous." No, you like your son or your daughter did something good. We're not nefarious. I'd love if we just get the cream to rise to the top, and everyone else gets Napleton.
Yeah.
Chris Whitener.
Yeah.
$5. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Not just new cars. It's service too. Hit a deer in February and can't get my car fixed until May.
Wow.
Still on the runway. Chris, let us know when you take off.
Yeah.
We got John in here. I went to get my transmission fluid changed for my 2019 Honda Odyssey at the dealer. They couldn't do it because they were out of transmission fluid.
Wow.
You ever heard of that?
Honestly, no.
We should talk to Yanni. We should see if we can get him on the show.
Yeah.
And he now works for Big Brother, so I don't know if we're allowed
if
to
they'll
do
let
that.
him.
Yeah, Auto Nation, but
they
we'll
might
see.
not let him.
Yeah, we can ask him. Connor, we have over 200 used cars on our lot at the moment. It's been that way since last summer. Connor, where are you?
Yeah.
How
many are you selling?
Yeah.
That's the real question. Just because you have over 200, how many are you selling per month?
Would be really interested to know
Yes.
that. Raymond here saying Tesla is buying more expensive chips than other manufacturers. They're just too cheap to buy. That's what it is. Yeah,
Well,
we've
that
heard
was
that.
my guess. Yeah.
No, we remember David Chow told us everyone could get chips. It's just who wants to pay for them.
Exactly.
Tesla has also increased their MSRP pretty
substantially.
significantly.
And they do it frequently. Yeah.
Silver Badger chat.
Yeah.
I need to lease a truck in May. Is the Ford Ranger worth it? I have no clue if that leases well.
Yeah,
I can't imagine it
does. No, most manufacturers are not doing a particularly good job of supporting leasing at the moment.
Thank you for this, Joel. Mechanic here. I've not seen a shortage of fluids. Although we did chat with AMD last week, and he did mention there's like some challenges.
Part shortages for sure.
Definitely the part shortages, and more importantly, not more importantly, but equally as importantly, the labor shortage.
Yeah.
Here we go from Lee. I ordered a Tesla for delivery in December. Got impatient and got a demo modem now, but still have a December car locked in $4,000 under the current asking price. Would it be worth the risk to resell? I ordered a Tesla for delivery. Got impatient.
I don't know. Are you looking to make money? Or are you looking to drive a Tesla? What is it?
Yeah, this is chill.
Yeah.
Rams Dodgers fan. Work for Hyundai Finance. We get special financing for about $5,000 to $7,000 off MSRP. No dealer will accept the program anymore and are asking $3,000 to $5,000 above MSRP. Should I go ahead and buy or wait? Can we just, for a moment, recognize the significance of this?
Yeah.
I work for the corporate entity.
Yes.
But the corporate entities
for the finance arm.
But the corporate entities, sales distribution partner
won't honor. Yeah. Well, if it were me, I wouldn't go ahead and buy.
No. Wow.
That's
Wow.
just me.
Check.
Does the finance arm give you like free interest-free loan for working for them?
I've got something that I might be able to pull up here in a second that ties in with that. Check the price of Mobil One oil on Amazon. Went up 25% last week, then.
Isn't Mobil One a synthetic?
But still.
So you can't blame it on the fact that the oil prices have gone up.
Let's actually tie this into one story that's pretty important and is about the supply shortage. But interestingly, Dad,
Yes.
it's about supplying more batteries.
Yeah.
So this comes by way of our federal government.
Yes.
President Biden to use Defense Production Act to increase battery production.
Yes.
You had a chance to read this over, didn't you?
Yes.
What's your readout on this? I mean, we're not putting in the Defense Production Act to, I don't know, get semiconductors, because I think everyone knows that's impossible to do.
Well, but one of the bills they've allocated $52 billion for the semiconductor industry, to move production back to the states. So there's separate money out there or there will be for that. I'm not 100% certain. I mean, I think it's wonderful that we want to say, gee, we need to find some of the materials and minerals that are needed for these electric vehicles. We need to find them within our own borders. I get that. But if we don't have the infrastructure in place to really handle the influx of electric vehicles as quickly as a lot of the manufacturers are thinking that it's going to happen, then it'll all be for naught.
I saw a tweet from I'll call him friend. I mean, we're not really friends, but we know the guy, John Herbadian.
Yeah.
He's the CEO of a company called H-Greg.
Yes.
Which I sent this over to him earlier today. This is the power, by the way, of crowdsourced reviews.
Yes.
Come to our reviews. Let's remove the filters.
Yeah. This is a Nissan store, isn't it?
H-Greg. There's one H-Greg review.
Yeah.
It came in today. I literally sent this to him
Yeah.
because I was like, hey, someone said 0 out of 10 likelihood to refer your business to a friend.
Yeah.
Dealer forced me to pay $1,000, $400 for an insurance thing, right?
Yeah.
So I sent it over to him. Anyway, the reason I bring that up is I saw one of his tweets recently.
Yeah.
He said in some parts, some OEMs that they have, overnight it feels like 75% of the interest has become for electric vehicles. Because people can't get their hands on anything because they have nothing on the lots. He's saying 75%. It was a tweet. I saw he tweeted it. Nuts.
Yeah, but how are people going to charge them if there's
Or
no
get their hands on them.
infrastructure?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
You got here, Electrify America is inconsistent Absolutely. 100% is. Okay, I do want to take a second.
Okay.
And I want to bring one thing to the forefront, which I think is really useful and very beneficial.
Okay.
On the YAA car search, just this past week, we shipped a brand new feature. When you search for new vehicles, we have now added in transit.
Oh.
So we will mark vehicles that are not actually on a dealer's lot for you. So rather than pulling your hair out with one that, so here you go. You can essentially piece together.
So if you know that, you can get in touch with this particular dealer.
Yep.
Happens to be right in our neck of the woods.
Right up the street.
And you could say, hey, I've noticed when I ran a car search on YAA that it says this particular Audi is in transit. Is there a name associated with that? Has somebody already put a deposit on that vehicle that's incoming? Or might that vehicle be available for purchase once it arrives? And
because it's in transit, when you start to negotiate the out the door price, if you say you need to put door edge guards on it or protect, no.
If they say they need to, you can tell them no because it didn't come from the factory that way.
So it's pretty nice. In transit, and you can see.
In transit doesn't mean that it's not sold.
But Dad,
that it doesn't mean that somebody's name isn't on it.
56 days on market, but in transit, you know what that means? That means they started advertising this vehicle 56 days ago.
Yeah.
And that's a VIN. The only way that we get these are if there's VINs.
Yeah.
So that's a built vehicle that they're just waiting.
And that's a Q5, which means that it was built in Mexico.
And it's 56 days to get to them. 58 days.
Yeah.
Man, Audi. And I didn't just search by Audi. Let's actually just look at one other one for a quick second. Let's check Ford. Not getting as many in transits here. We do also mark EVs. Anyway, wanted to
Yeah.
show off in transit. The other thing I wanted to show off is the YAA fair market valuation. If you go to
Yes.
joinyaa.com/valuation, or if you just click on selling up here, enter your VIN, enter the state that you're in and your exact mileage, and you'll get a valuation from us. And you know what happens when you do this? We don't spam phone call you or sell your data to anyone.
Well, how are we going to make money?
How are we going to make money? It's free. Give it a shot. It's our best guess at what the fair market valuation is for your vehicle. And we're still hawking those extended warranties, still just making $500, still
Yes.
waiting to sell in damn California.
Yes.
God, I was pissed off last night.
Mhm.
It made it hard to sleep.
Well, I'm
Anyway,
sorry.
you don't have to contact us. You don't have to talk to a human being. You don't have to talk to a sales rep. I always choose BMW, and it's
Yeah,
so
why don't you
expensive.
choose it?
Chevy, Colorado with 2,400, and we're in the great state of, let's do a new state, Maryland.
Okay.
Let's get a quote.
Quoting.
Let's see if we get spam phone calls now that we've gotten this quote. There's the quote.
Yeah.
You know what the wholesale cost was?
Would that be
Just subtract 500.
$1,814?
You want to see what it would cost if you change the term? Change the term.
Oh my God.
Okay. No freaking games. And then the dealer reviews. So there you go. I'm just proud of the tools that we're building to try and be able to support people as they're having to navigate this, because Dad,
Yes.
everything we talked about tonight does not paint a rosy picture for being a car buyer.
No, it does not.
What's your outlook? What's your outlook? Is
Not-
this a industrial revolution type change for this industry? What's happening right now?
Well, I know there are some who think that it is. I know you think it is. I don't know. I think that to a certain degree will become Europe, in the sense that people will grow more accustomed to ordering what they want and waiting for it, as they do in Europe. Now, the big difference between here and Europe is that, believe it or not, in Europe, 80% of the cars that people buy are manual transmission cars, and in this country, there's 1%. So it's just, I think, I don't think we'll ever see dealer inventories like we were used to seeing pre-pandemic. I don't think we'll see that again. I think those inventories, once they can start building them up again, and who knows when that might happen, I think the norm would probably become 50 to 60% of what dealers used to have on their lot. So if a dealer normally had about 1,000 cars in inventory, they'll probably in the future, once cars can be built in numbers again, might have between 500 and 600 cars.
No, I apologize. I wasn't being, I didn't intend to be distracted there, but you mentioned something that I think is worth pulling up here. And this was a comment we had on one of our blog posts. This blog post was, can dealers charge more than MSRP? Yes, they can.
Yes, they can.
Read this from Peter right here.
Yes.
Just for your information, in the United Kingdom, it's illegal for a dealer to sell new cars for higher than the list price.
Yeah.
Due to the chip shortage and delivery time sometimes stretching to over a year for even regular family cars, the prices of pre-owned vehicles is often higher than new. Fair. You just mentioned that it might feel a bit more like Europe here than it did before. There's this law in place. You know where that law is?
That's in the United
Kingdom. I know where it's like, but you're saying it might feel here more like the United, like there, right? You're saying it might be more.
Europe is more than just the United Kingdom.
Hear me out here. Same thing in Canada. And we've talked to people who run dealerships in Canada, and they find loopholes to be able to make sure that they're charging over MSRP for new vehicles.
Yes.
But there has to be. If we are going to move in this direction and we're going to do more orders, there has to be some accountability, or else everyone is going to do what's happening, which is finding these loopholes to charge more than MSRP. It's supply and demand. You are not as mad about this as I've been mad for 48 minutes.
Well, what do you really think that they're not going to find loopholes? There's always loopholes. Everything that gets passed is passed with the idea that there's going to be a loophole. You know, anytime I would change, where the dealerships that I worked in, where ownership said, well, we've got to adjust the salespeople's pay plans. Okay. And my dear friend Glenn, God love him, one time when we changed the pay plan, he came in and he said, that's it, I quit. I said, Glenn, take a closer look at the pay plan. There are ways to work it. You just need to, I can't point them out to you, but you're smart enough to figure it out yourself. I'm telling you, You can figure it out to where it'll be to your benefit. He quit. 3 or 4 months later, he said, "Can I have my job back?" Yes. There's always loopholes in everything. You just have to you have to ask the questions that aren't answered in any of these bills.
Yeah.
Okay. And if there's no answer for something in a bill, then that's the loophole.
So this is okay. So full transparency.
Yes.
I'm like working on our pitch deck and things like that right now.
Yeah.
Because I think we need to take YAA to the next level. I think we need to get a bigger megaphone. I think we need to build better solutions, so on and so forth.
Yes.
What you just said is the exact reason why I think YAA or someone will fill this void, which is someone has to be there to build solutions that aren't just trying to take advantage of the systems.
Okay.
And like actually look out for the little guy. Why is this FTC news such a big deal? It shouldn't be. This should be commonplace. But it's like the first time someone's looking out for the little guy.
I understand what you're saying, and I agree with what you're saying. But we need to change the hearts and minds of those who actually own the dealerships. We need to convince them that there's a different, better, and more customer-centric way to sell vehicles
It's not just selling that.
without making the customer feel like they've been taken advantage
It's not
of.
just selling, Pops. It's the whole thing. It's the whole thing. Hear me out. Hear me out.
Okay,
Hear me
well,
out.
you know,
Hear me out. Hear
I'm
me
just
out.
I'm just a selling guy.
Hear me out.
Yeah,
It is.
yeah,
When you buy the car,
yes.
think about how many people as a customer you have to engage with to go through what I'm about to explain. You buy a car.
Yeah,
Not as simple as just pressing a button. It is a lot of work.
yeah,
Then you have to get the car maintained and,
Yeah.
and potentially, hopefully not do repairs.
yeah,
You might even want to refinance it.
yeah,
Then you want to go sell it because you're ready to move into your next car.
yeah.
At each of those distinct points, you're disadvantaged. And we're now looking at an industry where we're going to say, okay, you know what? Screw the dealers. I don't want to do the dealers. You know who I'm going to work with? Tesla instead. Do you really think Tesla's going to treat you like that nicely through that experience? No, they're going to capitalize on you as well.
On every aspect of it.
And then it's like freaking Apple, man. Like you're
Yeah, you think Apple really cares
No,
about
no.
you?
Apple's
Why
incredible.
do you think they're a $1 trillion company? Because
Apple's
it's not
incredible.
because they care about
Why
you.
do I have a bunch of Apple stuff? I don't know, because like socially it feels like it's what I have to have.
I wouldn't have Apple stuff. The only reason I have an Apple MacBook is because the business said I have to have an Apple MacBook. I would never have an Apple phone. I would never have Apple TV.
Hear me
I
out,
don't want to
though.
have anything Apple because I think they've taken this in a direction where they just control the prices and the profit margins wherever they want. And they've created these raving fans and the people that go, I mean, you know, announced that the new Apple phone's coming out. And people will start lining up days in advance so they can be the first one to get it. So that they can have the opportunity to overpay for it. Why? Why? Is it really that much better than any other phone out there? I don't know. I got a Google Pixel phone.
But and then look at that. Like Google also tries to go vertically integrated.
Sure.
And like they come off as these perceived like we're data like conscious. Oh, okay. All right. We're a little. All right. Sorry. We went a little off the rails.
No, you went a little off the rails.
I'm just hot, man.
Well, I'm sorry. Try getting some sleep.
I'm allowed to be hot.
Okay. That's what happens when you run.
Santa
Sanity Claus was in town.
December 25th. Love your videos. Great information.
Thank you
Empower
so
consumers.
much.
Thank you. But that's the thing, Pops. I don't want to just produce information. I want to create. I want
A
to create
movement.
No, I want to create the freaking experience. Like you should have an app on your phone, and if you need
Pocket Pop.
my girlfriend, Dad, has needed to get her front headlight replaced for like 6 months,
and
I'm her auto guy.
yeah.
And I look at the online reviews for all the repair shops near us, and I'm just like, Laura, I don't know where to go. That's effed up, man. I'm supposed to be educated. How's she like? We need to build that. We need to build that. You know what I need to be able to tell her where to go? I need this. I need the dealership reviews, but for service centers. Because I'm looking at the online reviews and I don't know what to believe. So that's my point. Is it's the information, but it's also someone has to take a stand and actually like build the infrastructure to compete against, honestly, the dealerships, but also the Teslas of the world, because they're also gonna. Alex.
Wow.
That is a very cute dog.
Yes.
You guys helped me get my 2022 Toyota Tacoma TRD off-road, and I appreciate all your genuine work. Your all's genuine work. My girlfriend was very surprised by the information I knew when we were at the dealership, and I owe it all to you guys. Hashtag YAA for life.
Alex, thank you so much.
That's awesome. Pops.
Yeah, that really is.
Did you ever see, congrats, Alex. Did you ever see that when you were working car deals? Like a couple comes in and the man's trying to be all macho or something like that. Was that an experience, or is that kind of just out of a movie?
Sure.
That's pretty normal.
No, come on. Honey, don't say a word.
I got
I've
this. And then what's going through your head?
Poor guy's going to pay too much.
Core guy, we love seeing you here. Thank you so much for your longtime support. It's not just the hearts and minds of the dealership owners that has to change for the consumers as well. Until buyers change this, quote, gotta have it now attitude, things won't change. Yeah. Because corporations take advantage of that.
Yes, absolutely.
I mean, it's scarcity. That's the thing, and the immediacy is definitely something that a corporation.
We are a people that are desirous of instant gratification.
Yeah, and then Paul's calling me out here. You can't change a headlight. I mean, I could.
No, you couldn't.
Dad.
No, you could not.
Really?
Not in a Subaru. You could not.
A 2011 Subaru.
You could not.
We were talking to Ahmed AMD the other day. We've got a video dropping with him next week, and he was saying, I forget if it was about Tesla or if it was just in general, but he was like, "Are you really just gonna like open up YouTube and try and do it at home?" And I'm sitting here thinking, "Yeah, that's what I would do."
I'm telling you, I don't think you could. It's not it. Some of these things, I mean, they're not easy. It's not just. Gee, you take a little electrical plug off and you take off a couple screws and you pull the headlight. It's not that easy.
Crystal says this is a terrible time for a first-time car buyer. It is, but it's also an awesome time in the sense that
it'll help,
and it'll only get better, hopefully.
Yes.
From here.
Well, and I would say this to Crystal.
Huh.
3 years ago, you wouldn't have had this opportunity to have people that wanted to help you along the way, whether it be members of our community, whether it be you and I doing live streams, whether it be Kimberly helping out, whatever. I mean, you wouldn't have had any of that 3 years ago.
Here you go from Core Guy. I'm an immigrant. I was shocked when I learned Americans changed cars like they changed clothes.
Yeah.
Hell of a culture shock from my country where you buy one car and that's it for life.
Yeah, I'm telling you, it's all attitude. We buy for want, not for need, and as long as
we get Napleton,
and then you get Napleton when that happens, and even you just get Napleton.
R. Dylan, hello, Daddy and son.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Yes.
Hello, Daddy.
Hi, son.
There it is.
Yeah.
Here you got, my Honda has an air conditioning issue that Honda has extended the warranty to 10 years to cover, but the AC goes. I've heard the repair delays are 3 to 6 months just for the part.
Not bad.
Come on, man. Vanessa says, I'm waiting for my RAV4 Prime to arrive. Should I finance or lease? If finance, should I get an extended warranty? Probably in this market, finance. The lease deals aren't that attractive. Should you get an extended warranty? It's up to you.
Yeah.
I mean, put money in a savings account for a rainy day or buy one, and then you don't have to worry about it. But that's up to you. Here we go from James. A dealer tried to demand I finance, even if it was only for a month, before they would sell me the car. I checked with my local dealer, and he said that it was illegal, but that that vehicle sold to somebody else. This is illegal. To tell someone that you have to finance through them, or
they do that in Texas, and it's not against the law in Texas.
Yeah, in Texas.
So I don't know that it's illegal.
I wish.
It shouldn't be, but I don't believe it's illegal. But that would be one of the 5 warning signs about a dealership that you don't want to do business with.
Absolutely.
And so legal or illegal. If some dealership were to say that to you or say that to me, I would say, hey, thanks so much for letting me know. It's been a real pleasure chatting with you. And I spin on my heel and walk the hell out.
Yeah. The
important thing is who you decide to reward with your business as a customer, as a consumer. And if you see practices like that going on, then you have to decide as a consumer that you're not going to reward that organization with your business. And until consumers say, I'm mad as hell and I'm not going to take it anymore, I'm not going to put up with this nonsense anymore, until as a group, people say that, these dealers are just going to continue doing what they do because there's a high enough percentage of people that just acquiesce and do it.
But to be fair, quite a few of those people that acquiesce are in situations where they're marginalized, taken advantage of, pressure.
Yes.
We have a video coming out this upcoming week.
We do?
Yes, we do.
Okay.
Okay, where we did a role play. We know that people like the role play videos.
Yes.
And my dad was the salesperson,
Yes.
and I was trying to negotiate.
Yes.
And we started doing it, and I was like, Dad, we got to pause. I grabbed one of our GoPros, and I stuck it on the table next to me as like a point of view to look at him. Because I'm sitting there, and I was like, holy hell. If I was in a dealership right now and my dad was across the table, I'm flopping over. Like, okay, you got me. Like, it was so smooth. It was so slick. If you don't watch that role play video and take notes on it, the number of emails we get of people who take notes and practice in the mirror.
Yeah.
To me, it's absolutely freaking nuts that to spend tens of thousands of dollars. Now, the average new car price is close to $50,000. You have to role play and do it in the mirror? Come on.
I used to tell my salespeople to do that all the time.
But the reason you have to do that, Dad, is not necessarily because as consumers we're acquiescing. Sure, a little bit of it is. The other part is because we're getting taken advantage of. We don't know that they're playing chess. We're over here playing checkers.
Yeah, absolutely. And I used to tell my salespeople all the time, you have to be good at what you do. So that means like an actor or an actress, you practice your lines.
Yep.
If you're an athlete, there was a quote that I used to always share with my salespeople, and that is, amateurs practice to get it right, and professionals practice so that they never get it wrong. Well, as a salesperson, do you want to be an amateur or do you want to be a professional? And in a lot of dealerships, there are a lot of amateurs that are salespeople, but there are some true professionals, and they really know the craft, and they can really manipulate customers to do what it is that they want them to do. I mean, I remember saying to a customer one time in the showroom at the Acura store, I asked him a question, and he said, "Well, I'm not gonna tell you that." I said, "Why?" He said, "Well, if you tell me that, you're going to use it against me to get me to buy something." And I just looked at him, and I didn't take any time at all. I didn't think about it. I just said, "Well, really, my job is just to convince you to do what it is that you want to do sooner than you wanted to do it."
Yeah.
And as long as I understand that, and as long as you as the consumer understand that, we'll be fine. And that's what a professional salesperson wants to do. They just want to persuade you to do what it is that you wanted to do, but they want you to do it on their time frame as opposed to your time frame.
Thank you, Angel LeBron. We appreciate that. Yeah, and then they also, they wouldn't mind Napleton-ing you from time to time.
Yeah.
Jenny.
Yes.
So great to see you.
Yes.
We appreciate your longtime support. Thanks for being here. And
Thank you,
rewind to the beginning, Jenny. There's some meaty stuff earlier in today's show. Giovanni says, why do so many people think lease is bad? Lease to buy is bad. Why do so many people think lease to buy is bad?
Because you'll end up paying more in most cases. Now, there are some cases where you can get a cheap lease payment and then you could buy it at the end and you'd come out ahead. Those cases are very few and far between. Now, right now, if you're in a lease vehicle, you would want to buy it or get competing bids from multiple dealers in order to get a better value for it than just turning it in, because right now, in most cases, you can buy your vehicle at the end of the lease for probably somewhere between 30 and 40% what its true market value is.
To get your true market value, again,
you go right here.
You go right there.
And that situation doesn't happen very often when you lease. So for those who leased 3 years ago or 2 years ago and their leases are coming due, you'll be in a good position at the end of your lease.
Do you have your mini VIN handy?
Do I have it handy? No.
Is it on that paperwork that you sent me the other day?
It certainly would be.
All right. Yeah. Can you answer this question? And I'll pull that up really quickly.
What's the question?
The question is going to be, do dealers always require a hard inquiry when ordering a vehicle?
We used to always want to make sure that the person that was ordering a vehicle was in the position to be able to finance that vehicle if that's what they wanted to do.
Mm-hmm.
So oftentimes we would get a credit application to make sure that there wouldn't be any issues once the car came in. Now, when I was at the mini store, when we would take an order for a vehicle, it was pretty simple. We would take a non-refundable deposit. Now, you would say, well, non-refundable deposit. Well, what happens if the car came in and I didn't want it? Well, then we would give you a credit that was good at any of our dealerships. And the group that I worked for, we had 8 or 9 dealerships in the Baltimore area,
Mm-hmm.
where you could apply that credit for any car that you wanted to buy. But the reason we made it a non-refundable was because we were building a car exactly the way you wanted it out of our limited allocation. So I forget what the question was.
Do you have to have a hard inquiry?
You don't, but most dealerships are gonna ask for it just to make sure you have the ability to pay.
So I pulled up my dad's VIN, and I'm gonna run it really quick because your lease is up in
8 months.
Okay.
Yeah.
Pop that in.
Yeah.
We're in Maryland.
Yeah, we are.
Mileage. You don't have to be
16,000, buddy.
Yeah,
we
you
cracked
just said-
16,000
You
today.
did mention that earlier
Yeah.
today. Okay.
Yeah.
Not going to put your cell phone number on the internet.
Thank you.
And I'll use mine, actually.
Oh, you could have used mine.
It's all good.
And there's your cell phone number.
Okay. So I just sent that to myself. So stay tuned. I'm going to pull my phone out here in just
Yeah.
a second. We'll see. Because you just looked at your payoff the other day, right? Wasn't it like
I know
24?
No, I know at the end. Well, you have the lease. You pulled up my lease document. Pull up what the residual was.
That's true. Okay. Give
Yeah.
me 1 second.
You just had it open.
1 second. 1 second. Can I share this on the screen?
Well, there's some information on there that I don't.
Yeah,
know
like
that
your home
everybody-
address.
Yeah, well, we don't live there anymore anyway, so it
That's
doesn't
fine.
matter.
Well,
The
here, this part we
residual
can
was-
show, right?
Yeah, the residual was 26,412.
Let's show this. So that's what a lease contract looks like. This is
Yeah.
my dad's lease contract.
Yeah.
Where's the residual?
Right there.
Okay, so that's the residual.
26,412.
That is the set value of what the vehicle will be.
That's what I can buy it for at the end of the lease.
All right, now give me 1 second. I just got the email here. The fair market value.
Yeah,
This is what the vehicle is going to be sold retail.
yeah. And I can buy it for 26,412.
Doesn't necessarily mean you can trade it in for that much.
No,
Doesn't
but
necessarily
the
mean
point is
that's
there's-
the retail value of it. And yours is probably on the higher end because it's in great condition.
yes,
It's got yeah.
yeah,
10 grand more than what the residual said it was.
yeah. Up to 10 grand more. Yeah. So
Use-
I would be foolish not to buy that at the end of the lease.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And Ray has a question here. Can I
Yeah.
buy my lease directly with the lender?
In some cases you can, and in some cases you can't. It depends on the state. In the state of Florida, if you sell more than 3 vehicles a year, you need a dealer's license, and the lending institutions don't normally have dealer licenses, so they require that you go through one of their dealers. In other states, yes, you can complete the transaction directly with the lender.
Here we
lease
go. Zach needs to help the car care nut. He's having audio issues on his live stream. I'm going to text him right now.
Oh my God.
And then we've got Martha here. Thank you for the information.
Well, thank you, Martha.
And I'm going to text Ahmed really quick.
Oh my God.
Pops, I want to end with, we've got a couple comments here like this. Is there a way that we can beat dealer markups? And we also had someone who's a first-time buyer looking for a RAV4. I think this is the perfect tee up to say become a YAA member and let us help you. But you take it from there. What can you do in this market? I'm going to text AMD.
All you can do is you have to work at it. Like the gentleman that ordered that Jeep, that picked up his Jeep, it took him 2 months of working the various dealers to get to the price that he was agreeable to, which was $1,000 below MSRP. So
And that deal that you're talking about is right here on the community under success stories.
So you just have to. Salespeople are trained that they have to hear 5 no's from a customer about buying the vehicle before, thank you, Mike Dean, before the customer will eventually relent and say yes. Okay, so you gotta ask 5 times, at least 6 times. You gotta get 5 no's. So let me ask you, Zach. If we could work all these numbers out to your satisfaction, you'd want to go home in your new car today, wouldn't you? No. Oh, why not? So the same applies to you as a customer. You have to get at least 5 no's from the dealership when you're asking for the discount before eventually somebody at the dealership will relent. The easiest person to close on a car deal at a dealership is typically a sales manager. The salesperson's working the customer. They're going back and forth. They're running back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Then the customer leaves. Then they're working the customer over the internet, over email and text messaging and phone calls. And eventually they're going to come in. The salesperson's going to come into the sales manager's office and say, I've been working this guy for a week. This is all I can get out of him. Can we finally just make the deal? And typically what will happen is the sales manager will eventually just relent and say, go make your deal. Okay, you've worked it as much as you can work it. Go make your deal. That might have taken 7 or 8 times of the salesperson running to the sales manager, trying to get the sales manager to either lower the price of the vehicle or increase the value of the trade-in so that they could get to the payment that the customer wanted to be at, or whatever it was. So as a customer, if you're trying to beat them on the markup, you have to keep asking. I understand that you don't want to reduce the additional dealer markup that you have of $2,500. I get that you don't, and I understand why you don't, but I'm not in a position where I can afford to pay that. How much can you come down from there? Oh, we can't come down at all. I get it, but really, could you come down 500? Well, if we came down 500, would you buy the car right now? That would bring me a lot closer to being able to say yes. And then once they come down to 500, you go, I think we're still maybe $2,000 away. but as the customer, you just have to keep pushing because that's what the salesperson's trained to do to you. So you keep pushing and you work multiple dealerships against each other so that you can finally find one that will go, I've had enough. Just sell them the car at MSRP or whatever that number is. So that's how you beat dealer markup. It just takes time, effort, and energy, and a little bit of luck.
Yeah. Oh man, here you go, Jeremiah saying most dealers break advertising laws. Yeah, no, 100%.
Yeah, every day.
All right,
every minute of every day.
I saw one other comment, and I want to bring it up, which was we need more positive reviews. And I got to tell you guys, I was actually thrilled when we started collecting this data. And let's do it quick. We were at 677.
Yeah.
I'm going to say we're at 685.
692.
680.
Okay.
You're making us
look people are busy listening to us and have time to fill out the review at the moment.
That's important.
But it's going to go up significantly as soon as we sign off.
I can come over here.
Yeah.
How likely is it that you would recommend this dealership to a friend? I want to sort this from highest to lowest. Look at all of those 10s.
Wow.
Hundreds of 10s.
Wow.
Not saying these are great dealerships.
Yeah.
This is one piece of information that you can use to help inform your decision. There are also a lot of 0s and 1s.
Yes.
Okay. But not nearly as many as there are 10s. The cream will rise to the top. That's our objective here.
Yes.
Use the car search to find vehicles that have all of the fees associated and included. That's why we have the out the door price right here for you as an estimate to help you understand what it's going to be when you go to the dealership.
Mm-hmm.
Use the fair market valuation to truly understand what your vehicle's worth, not the KBB crap. Get it right here. We're not going to spam you. If you're going to end up with the extended warranty, that's one of the ways that we're actually able to make money. So we appreciate it. If you're going to buy one, buy it from us. Don't feel pressured to buy it from anyone, including us. And if you want to join YAA as a premium member, I assure you guys, we are working on a lot of really cool things. We had an awesome group meeting, team meeting yesterday. I think I counted, Dad. There were 16 or 17 faces on the screen. Okay. Staff, people that work
including mine.
Including you and me.
Yeah. People
that work on YAA. Monday through Friday, and you and me on Saturdays, and the whole team on Saturdays. Everyone's if it's unclear by 2 years of us making daily videos, we are not going anywhere.
No, hell, I forced me to move to Bethesda.
I forced my dad to move. I mean, I'm committed to this. You're committed to this, and I think it's just the beginning.
I'm committed to this, but not during the summer. I mean, I'll appear every day, but I'm going to do it from my condo at the Jersey Shore in the summer.
Let's call it
I haven't found a beach here yet.
Let's call it a
or a
show.
boardwalk.
Let's call it a show, Pubs.
Okay.
Thank you, everyone, for joining us again. Next week on Saturday night, we have a special guest joining us.
Yes.
If you were here a bit earlier, you know who that is.
Yes.
Monday, Ray and Zach channel will be
Yeah.
live. YA Electric launches Monday, April 11th.
Yes.
Super excited for that. Black Book joining us Monday. Anyway, we got a lot going on.
We do have a lot going on. So thank you, everybody, for being here tonight. You're the reason we do all this. And don't forget, we'll be back on Monday through Friday with more news that you can use from YAA.
No, that's the other show. Oh, because
the
you're
Ray
saying
and-
Monday and through
yeah,
Friday.
yeah.
Yeah.
on the Ray and Zach channel.
Nice job, Dad.
Yeah.
You want to do it again? I'm sorry.
That's noon Eastern, 9 Pacific, or something like that.
I love you. I appreciate this. Thank
Well,
you.
I love you too.
Thank you, everyone, for being here.
Thank
gonna
you
go
all.
home.
Good night, everybody.
See you guys.